How's it going, everyone? Mike here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Hololive Ambassador set that came out this week. The Ambassador set is kind of like a supply set in that it has some cards, obviously, for the Weiss Schwarz game, but also it comes with some supplies. So as we see here, this is the package itself, and it does have on this side a list of the contents that we can expect from each set. A 50 card pre-constructed deck, so this is actually like a trial deck of sorts. And we're obviously going to go through the contents of the trial deck cards as well. We're going to get a standard pack of 55 sleeves, one deck box, and the storage box that this thing comes in. So we're going to take a look at what's inside and look at all the goodies. So if you guys didn't know, Hololive Ambassadors are a group of 4 Hololive VTubers that were chosen to be the ambassadors of the Weiss Schwarz card game. And those members, as you see from the front, are Hoshimachi Suisei, Moona Hoshinova, Sakura Miko, and Kiara Takanashi. You can also see this lovely playmat that I picked up in Japan last year. Unfortunately, this playmat is not part of any Weiss Schwarz product and doesn't come in the case topper or anything. This was just a separately sold item. But if we take away the plastic and the cover, you can see that the storage box that everything comes in is very lovely. We do have the 4 members on the top side here, and then we have them all in a nice picture surrounded by sakura blossoms. And these are the size of the box, and that's the bottom. Opening up the set, and we are treated to a bunch of goodies. So let's start with the supplies. We have the aforementioned pack of standard size sleeves, 55 count per pack. So for Weiss Schwarz, as a 50 card game, you are going to have 5 extra to play with in case you lose one or you split one, or you just want to use some extras as some nice binder material. You're going to have 5 extra of those. Here we have the deck box, also of the same image. On the sides and on the back, we do have all the lovely sakura petals, and these are transparent where the petals are, so you can look at the inside of the deck to see, what deck you have in the box, right? Or you can check the back to see what sleeves you have. Oftentimes, I do need to just take a quick glance to remember what I put in these deck boxes, especially since I have so many Hololive decks. And on the top, there's the Hololive logo. We have the pre-constructed trial deck, which we will be taking the majority of this video to look at. And also, I think this is going to be something that a lot of people are looking forward to for both players and collectors. Every single box set also comes with 2 random foils out of the 17 types of cards that come in the trial deck. So just like most modern trial decks nowadays, every trial deck you open, you do get a random triple rare, and if you're lucky, you can get a sign. And all the cards that come in trial decks usually do come triple rare or higher nowadays. This Ambassador set trial deck is no different. But you get 2 foils, and lo and behold, we got a Suisei sign. So as far as we understand, you get 2 random foils per Ambassador set. And one of them is always going to be one of the 8 sign cards. And then the other one is going to be one of the 9 other non-signed cards, but they will come foil. So we got the Suisei drop salvager in the top, and then we do have a second card on the bottom. But let's go through all the cards first, and then we'll see what's on the bottom when we finish looking at all the trial deck cards. Kind of just save it. I'm looking forward to something to look forward to for the end of the video. And then we do have the standard fare items that come in a trial deck. We have the playmat, tells you where all the zones go, and the graph for every single turn, or the graphic that tells you the operation steps for every turn. On the top left, stand phase, draw phase, clock phase, etc., etc. How to process damage. And on the back, we do have a sort of mini guide for how to play the Ambassadors trial deck. So you can definitely take a look through these. And then also the advertising for the upcoming Hololive Premium Summoner Collection set, which is coming out at the end of August. And then the other pamphlet is just a how do I read or understand and interpret all these symbols on my cards. So with these two pieces of paper, you will definitely have a much easier time if you're getting into Weiss Schwarz for the first time, learning and understanding how the game works. So let's put all these supplies away for the time being, and then let's take a look at the cards in the trial deck. So while I may call this a trial deck, and it is technically designated as TD, this is probably one of the strongest trial decks ever printed. And you guys are going to quickly see why once I start going through these cards. But just like a trial deck plus, every card that you receive in here, you will receive 2 copies or more. So if you did want a whole playset of everything, you only need 2 copies of the Ambassador set. Obviously, the Ambassador set is a bit pricey because you do also purchase all the other items with it, like the deck box, sleeve, storage box, and the extra guaranteed sign and foil. But for the most part, you are going to get most of what you need from just one trial deck. And we're starting with this level 0 Kiara. On play, can give one of our characters 15, and also on attack, we can give one of our characters 1500 power as well. So it's going to be a good way for us to really solve a lot of power issues if your deck is lacking for power. If your climax combos aren't big enough to hit some certain lines, then you can just use one of these Kiaras, maybe give one of your climax combos 15, and then give another one of your climax combos 15 on attack. So it's kind of like a one-card solution to be able to resolve multiple lanes of profitable fronts. And we get 2 of those. The next card, which we get 4 of, is this duo of Kiara and Moona. On death, we can pay 1, and if we do look at up to the top 3 cards of our deck, if we look at any, we can choose one of them, or if we look at any, we must choose one of the cards we looked at from the top 3, put it into our clock, send the rest to waiting room, and then we can choose any Hololive character in our waiting room and salvage it. So this is kind of like, well, this is, Hololive is really spoiled for choice in terms of clock plussing effects, but in terms of the one that kind of that this card is very similar to, the salvage is kind of like Aki Rose level 0 from the Generation 1 trial deck, while the mill is a bit reminiscent of the level 0 Lammy double rare from Hololive Volume 2. So at this point, it really comes down to a couple of factors in terms of what clock option you want to have. If you want something that can grab you immediately what you need from waiting room, while also giving you a bit of deck speed, then this Kiara Moona card can be quite useful. Obviously, yellow is a pretty bloated color in terms of clock plussing options. We do have the La Plus from Premium Booster. We're going to have the Koyori, which is the exact same card as La Plus from Premium Booster, which is the 3500 Aqua profile in the middle. On death, pay 1, clock yourself from waiting, top check 2, add 2. We also do have the level 0 Kanata Riki from Volume 2. So in terms of like unique colors, it would have been more unique if this card was like a red plussing option for clock plussing, since red is a bit short compared to the other colors in Hololive. But hey, if you want that mill 3 and you want the selective salvage, then this can definitely be a pretty decent selection. Next, we have 4 copies of our Climax combo. Always a good thing to see in our trial decks. So this 1-0 Kiara is during your turn if all of our characters are Hololive, plus 2k, so she's a 6/5 attacker. Climax combo on attack with her Climax, which is the result of the race Climax. This is the art that I have on my playmat here. Quite a lovely visual of Miko and Suisei competing on the track. But Climax Combo, the Kiara, is on attack if you have another Hololive character. You can discard one, and if you do, look at up to the top 4 cards of your deck. Choose any 2 Hololive characters, or the 1/1 event in this trial deck, which looks like this, and you can add them to your hand. So this is a good way to go through your deck, give you a bit more hand filtering compared to just the average on attack top check for add 1 option. She also is a 6/5, 7/5 with Climax Combo, so definitely a fairly decent card. It's also really nice that you can discard climaxes and events from her Climax Combo cost. For example, one of the downsides of some quote-unquote more powerful options that are kind of adjacent to this effect, for example, in Bane Dream. Bane Dream has a 1/0 yellow that's on attack discard a character to top check 5 at 2. But I do think that we definitely prefer having the flexibility of being able to discard anything, including events and climaxes. And we're going to take that 1 less mill for the top check 4, and that is perfectly fine. And then for the last yellow card, this deck is actually 3 colors. For the last yellow card, we have a reprint of a very, very important card from Volume 1. This level 3 Kiara is a reprint of the 3/2 Matsuri stock swap. So, we don't need to look for old cards anymore. If you're looking for the Matsuri, I know recently, I think the price of that card has gone up quite a bit just because basically every deck that you build for Hololive, you will want to include a copy of the stock swap. Stock swaps are getting more and more rare nowadays as Bushiroad pushes design to be more anti-stock swap. They're trying to nerf that effect by not giving it to as many sets. But obviously for the sets that already have them, if they already have it, you might as well just give them a more easy way to access it. So there we are, 2 copies of the stock swap as a reprint. Going into red, we have 4 copies of another pair, Suisei and Miko. Obviously, Comet from JP Gen 0. This is a 3500 chaser. But their downside is if you have 2 or more other characters, then this card gets minus 1500 power. Which, depending on how you look at it, it can be... It's not super important. Obviously, the chaser effect is something that is really good on your first 1 or 2 turns, and that is the time in which you are least likely to have that 2 or more character condition. Obviously, if you go first, turn 1, and you open this, it's basically Milim Chaser, 3/5 Chaser. But otherwise, if you did want a red level 0 plussing option, that's not something like a clock plussing option, you can definitely consider this. Hololive obviously has a wealth of options to choose from in terms of beaters and stuff at level 0 in any color. If you want to run something with a bit more utility, but also want a beater, we obviously have the Miko Drop Searcher from the Gen 0 Trial deck, which is also 3500. But if you just want straight survivability and maybe have the option of running a card that can deny on reverse effects, maybe in the mid to late game, you can kind of double crash your board and just have one of these as your last standing character. And then if your opponent tries to field a Climax Combo that has a lot of benefit from reversing a character, this card can just run away from it, and there's not a lot that your opponent can do. So definitely has its own role here. That's the beauty of Hololive, is that you can basically build all your cards at any level to kind of the specifications you want and in terms of what role you prefer and what kind of anti-meta tools you want. The next red card is also a 4-of. We have this 1/0 Miko. She has Twin Drive on attack, pay 1 Twin Drive. And also, whenever any of our characters, not just her, but whenever any of our characters triggers a climax, we can give a character 2k. So normally, these twin drivers are maybe like 105Ks or 1055 with some power condition. This Miko is a 1035, so she is definitely printed as a much lower power base. But her upside is that if any of our characters trigger a climax, then she can give any character 2000. So if you want that twin drive utility in your deck, and you don't necessarily care about the Twin Driver herself having a lot of power, and you would much rather have a more concentrated lane on another character be able to comfortably reverse something, then this Miko can be kind of dual-sided in terms of utility, offering that Twin Drive as well as a potential very large 2k buff to any of your characters. Definitely very strong card to consider. And next we have this 2-1 Miko as a 2-of. This is another reprint, though this one is probably a lot less famous than the Matsui Stock Swap reprint, but it's actually a very good card, especially considering the upcoming Hololive Summer Premium set. So what this Miko does is she's a front 2k assist to all of your level 3 or higher characters, and then at the start, it's rest this card, choose one of your characters, and they get 500, and then on reverse of your battle opponent, you can look at the top card of your deck and put it on top or leave it in waiting room. Okay, this was not the card that I thought it was. I thought it was the 2-1 Roboco. I think that was reprinted in the summer set then. All right, sorry about that, guys. I thought this was the top decker reprint. But it is not. No, this is just another card. But it's still actually a pretty strong card. Obviously, 2k assist to your level 3s is very powerful. And then if you want to try to rig your last attack to be able to get one closer to canceling, you attack last, reverse your opponent's character, top check your own deck, and either leave it on top or mill it. Obviously, we can leave it on top if it's climax, and mill it if it's not to try to get closer to canceling. Or if you're in the middle of your attack step and you have more attacks coming, you can try to confirm your top card as the next trigger to see if you want to trigger that particular card or not. Sorry about that, guys. So it's a bit of a mix-up. All right, next we have this 3-2 Miko. It's a 3-5 printed, but don't let that deceive you. She is essentially a 10-5 as long as we have 2 or more other Hololive characters. She's also an early play if we have 2 or less climaxes in waiting room, -1 level in hand. And then on play, we can look at the top X cards of our deck and choose one card among them, where X equals the number of Hololive characters we have on stage, including herself when she is played. So if we have a full board, then we can top check up to 5 and add anything in there without showing our opponent. Very useful effect. The top check X is definitely something that can be very useful if you want to play a deck that just constantly needs to find more climaxes to play. The 2 or less climax condition is not the worst. Obviously 4 or more might be a bit better, but 2 or less can also help you with decision making. You can play the Miko first, even if you don't have any other front row. If you play the Miko with 2 back row, you still get a top check 3, which depending on what you find from those top check 3, you can then alter the rest of your play that turn, fielding different characters. Maybe you were holding some climax combos in your hand, and if you didn't find the climax combo, then you'll just field some other characters. But if you did find the climax for your climax combo, then you actually go ahead with the climax combos, and then you can go with that line instead. So, no pros and cons, but otherwise a 10-5 cantrip that can come down at level 2, not bad at all. Final card for red, we have this 1-1 event, Cherry Blossom. This is the event that the Kiara can also add from her climax combo effect of the top check 4 at 2. The effect says, if you don't have a Hololive character, you cannot play this from your hand. Search your deck for up to 1 Hololive added to your hand, and send this card to memory. And when this card is in memory at the beginning of your main phase, you can discard a climax to put this back in your hand. So, this is kind of like a mask effect from Slime, or like Pendant from Nisekoi if you guys are, from that 2015-16 age. But basically, you can search one from your deck, send it to memory, but then it also has the upside where, let's say that, on one of your turns you clock and you draw 2. Oh, you drew 2 climaxes. Happens to the best of us. But this Cherry Blossom event can automatically help you get out of those kind of scenarios. You can just discard one of those climaxes at the start of your main phase, which comes right after your clock phase. Get this back in your hand, and then search your deck for something that can get you out of there from that unsavory draw to climax scenario. So definitely a very decent, consistent piece. consistency piece, and especially considering that one copy is all you really need to find for it to be very useful throughout all stages of the game. You can perhaps just run maybe like 2 of this if you want to see it once, and then once you do see it once, you basically will just always have it when you need it. If you don't draw climaxes, obviously you can't reuse this from memory, but then at the same time, I feel like when you go into climax floods would be the kind of key, the key times in which you would want to try to use this kind of search event to get you out of there. So, all right. And then finally, we have our blue cards, starting with this level 0 Moona. This level 0 Moona is a bottom deck reverser, so when she becomes reversed in battle, if our opponent's level 0 lower, we can bottom deck them. And she also has an alarm that does almost the same thing. When this card is on the top of your clock at the beginning of your climax phase, you choose one of your Hololive characters, and they get the effect where when they reverse their battle opponent, they can send the character to the bottom of clock. So this Moona has 2 different effects that send characters to bottom of clock. One of them is when she attacks into a 0 and gets reversed herself. We can bottom deck bomb them. The other one is we give one of our characters the ability to bottom deck the reversed opponent to prevent perhaps any on death or any other effects that might need to activate by sending them from the stage to another area zone. Next, we have another 4 of at the level 0 line. This is a Sui Brainstorm. This is definitely one of the key cards that I think a lot of Hololive players are going to be looking for to potentially add to their new and existing decks. This Suisei Brainstorm is a tap self salvage brainstorm. Tap self mill 4 salvage brainstorm. And then her other effect is also very potent as well. When we play a climax, we can choose one of our characters and they get the following ability until the end of the turn, where on attack, we can look at up to the top 2 cards of our deck, choose up to 1 card among them, or choose 1 card among them, put it on the top, and then mill the rest. So this is really useful in terms of being able to go through 1 more card. If you kind of want that extra 1 card deck speed, helps you confirm triggers if you want to trigger climaxes or not want to trigger climaxes. This is also really useful for cards that really need to hit their top checked effects on attack. Most notably, the Chloe level 1 combo from the Hololive build benefits very greatly from this Suisei. The Chloe's climax combo is on attack. We can salvage a character, and also on attack top check. If it's a level 1 or higher card, we can send it to stock. So the Suisei allows us to, on Chloe's attack, first activate the top check 2, and then we can, if we do see a level 1 or higher card among them, we put that card on the top, we mill the other one, and then Chloe then activates her top check effect from attacking. Therefore, we are basically kind of quote-unquote guaranteeing, or at least with the top check 2, we are increasing our chances of getting that 1 extra free stock. This Crush effect, as we call it, is obviously going to be generally useful outside of even just Hololive. So if you were looking for a new tap self-salvage brainstormer outside of maybe the level 1 Iroha from Hololive Volume 2 or the level 0 Matsuri tap self-brainstorm salvage from Volume 1, if you did want that extra utility from the top check 2 effect, you definitely want to consider this Suisei. Next up, we have 2 of another Suisei. This is a drop salvager. On play, we can pay 1, discard 1, salvage a Hololive, and then give one of our other Hololives 1000 power until end of turn. And also, when a climax is placed on our opponent's climax area, we can put this card into stock. So 2 very useful effects. If you did want maybe some extra blue splash, if you want some main phase, selective salvaging, and also a discard outlet. And also some coincidental free stock if you are able to have this attack and live to tell the tale. And generally speaking, we are in the type of meta and accelerated gameplay where people want to play climaxes as often as possible. So I feel like this card will get quite a bit of value if you did want to use it for its stock gen effect. It is only 2000 power though, so you do have to make sure that she survives until your opponent's turn, either by directing or siding a character or killing a level 0. Next up, 2 of this 1/0 Moona. For players of Quintessential Quintuplets, this effect will be a familiar one as they have like 6 versions of this card, but this Moona is... she can be played without a fulfilling color requirement. So you don't necessarily need to run blue to run this Moona. You can just play her without any color. Rest herself, give one of her characters 1000 cross turn. So until the end of your opponent's next turn, one of your characters gets 1000. And her last effect, Startup, we can discard 1 from our hand and send this card to Wait Room to salvage any character. 3 very powerful effects. It allows us to, for example, if we just hit level 1 at 1/0, and we want to maybe grab a Kiara Climax combo that was hit into our waiting room, we can play this card even though we leveled yellow at 1/0. Maybe give a buff to our Kiara, to our first copy of Kiara, and then sacrifice herself using her last effect, discard a random level 2 or 3, grabbing another Kiara combo, and that is just a very powerful line. Next up, 2 counters to protect our level 1s and 2s and 3s. And this is another reprint of the Suisei Anti Change counter from Volume 1. So it's funny because Suisei was on the original Anti-Change card, and then on the reprint, it's still her. So, us Suisei fans, we are blessed, blessed because we get so many good Suisei cards, and cursed because we need to update our max ready decks, which are a lot of money. But the Anti-Change counter is a discard 2 Anti-Change. When we use it, we can just send a opponent's character that is higher than their opponent's actual level and put it on the bottom of their deck. So it also just bypasses things like encoring, because it doesn't actually send them to the waiting room, it just bottom decks them. And then for the last couple of cards, we do have our level 3 Climax combo. Now this, I think, is one of the greatest improvements compared to a regular trial deck. Most, if not all, trial decks of the modern era, even though the card quality is fairly decent, the level 3s you usually only get 2s of, and this does include Climax combos. So if you did want a whole playset of your level 3 trial deck finisher, you would normally need to buy 2 trial decks. But something I really like about this trial deck's design is that they actually give you 4 of both your level 1 and level 3 Climax combos, making it very, very playable out of package, even more so than the pre-constructed trial decks that they normally print. So the level 3 Moona is on play, heal, and on attack, if we have 5 or less cards in our hand, we can choose one of the following effects and perform it. Reveal the top card of our deck, and if it's a Cherry Blossom event or a Hololive character, then we burn 4. Or we can choose to, at the end of this card's attack, if the character facing this card is reversed, you can pay 1 to burn 2. So this effect is very similar to the 3-2 Yukina from Bane Dream 5th Anniversary, if people are familiar with that set. But you might recognize the inherent synergy between this Moona and this Suisei. We just talked about how Suisei is a very good card in decks that want to confirm top checks on their attack. And this Moona is a card that needs to confirm its top check on attack. The Moona needs to top check a event or Hololive. So if we give the Suisei, if we use the Suisei's effect on Moona, then we can attack with Moona and then activate Suisei's effect first, looking at the top 2 cards of our deck. So let's say that, we looked at the first card, it's a Climax. We need to make sure, we need to confirm that it's not a Climax. And we check these 2, we'll just mill the Climax, leaving the Suisei on the top of our deck, and then we activate Moona's effect to reveal the top card of our deck, which is obviously a character, therefore burning the 4 for that sweet, sweet damage. Now the Climax combo is a all-out goldfish scooping, which is a very nice art of all 4 of them. We see Suisei's playing with Miko's hair. Miko's not doing very well because her net broke here, unfortunately. But a lot of very cute art in this set. So all these cards do come foil. you do receive randomly 2 foils per ambassador set, one of which is, I believe, guaranteed to be one of the signed cards. And one of them is not signed. So, now that we've gone through all the cards in the draw deck, let's take a look at what our second card is. Da 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 da.
Hi, honey.
Oh, it's the Suisei. Oh, it's double Suisei. Whoa! These are going right in my deck. So we got a foil version of the Sui Brainstorm and a foil version of the Suisei Drop Salvage. Beautiful, beautiful cards. Now, these are both OFR foils, so it is a step above the normal SR/triple rare design for foils. We do not have the colored borders on the bottom here, so we get as much art as possible. For this art, we obviously do have the black borders around these cards, but being able to see the black borders, I think, in all 4 corners and edges is quite nice. The foil itself, as you would expect from Suisei, it does kind of... maybe all of the series has it. I think they do all have kind of this like shatter glass, as you would expect from maybe like a glass panel that is represented behind them. Suisei has her shooting stars. And then for this card's foil, it's kind of just a regular foil. I think there's nothing special about it. I see a couple of vertical lines going on around here. But ooh, what a good ambassador set. Now I do want to show off the other cards, or the other foils and signs that can come from the ambassador set, just to give you an idea of what they look like, especially the signs, since they are all very cute and individually unique. So there are 17 different types of cards in this ambassador set. 8 of them come signed, 2 for every member of the ambassadors, and 9 that come just regular foil. So we have the 2 Moonas, 2 Suiseis, 2 Mikos, and 2 Kiaras. So let's take a quick look at what each of these say. This one is Kikeriki, love from your favorite CEO, Danke, I can't read German. Danke Dion? Danke schon. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's something like thank you. German viewers, please don't kill me. Alright. The stock swap also comes as a sign card. Spread the Weiss Schwarz love. You can do it. And then she has like a hand clap thing, or like a high five art thing here. Very cute. For Miko, this one says, これからもエリートなMikoをよろしくね. Please support Elite Miko from now on. Or please also support Elite Miko from now on. And this is the early play Top Check X. For the 2-1 support Miko, she says, 君も一緒に let's Weiss Schwarz. So, let's Weiss Schwarz together. Basically is what she says there. Moving on to Suisei, this is the SP of the Anti Change counter. Suisei says, Weiss Schwarz Saikyo. Weiss Schwarz is the best. And then she has a couple of star patterns here drawn on the sides. And then the sign that we just pulled from our very own ambassador set, this one says, これからも応援よろしくね. So please support me from now on, is what this Suisei says. Now this one is probably my favorite, because Moona really went all out on this particular art. I'm not sure if the camera can capture this, but I will be showing all the signs in close-up at the end of the video. So feel free to look forward to that, and I will make sure that I can get these in high quality on the camera. This Moon says, let's play Weiss Schwarz together, and then she also drew a picture of herself holding some Weiss cards, which is just amazing. And this one also has a picture of her, except this one's blowing a kiss, which is just like, my heart. And this one says Terima kasih, and some Indonesian that I definitely don't know what that means, and I will attempt to read this exactly once. Mohon Dukunang Dong Ban Tuangnya Selalu. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I just disrespected the entire Indonesian population. I'm sorry about that. So sorry Germans, sorry Indonesians. I had to give it a shot. This is not Tressa's Collectibles without Mike just absolutely butchering some pronunciations. So we have those 8 possible signs, and like I mentioned again, we do expect a guaranteed signature in every single ambassador set. And then the second card should be one of the other 9 foils. So we have here the stained glass set. I didn't go through these before, but they all do have different stained glass designs. I think these are some of the best artwork from this set and just visual appeal. We have Kiara with her phoenix motif with all the fires and flames and leaves. We have Moona with her moon motif. Also some who have like a moon here. We have the purple going on. We have some leaves and some foliage around as well. The Suisei, which obviously you know are shooting stars. So we have a lot of shooting stars in the area in the back. And then Sakura Miko. Sakura is also known as cherry blossoms in Japan. So we have a lot of cherry blossoms. We have the pink design going on since Miko is 100% a very pink character. And then the rest of the cards, we have the 2 duels. We have the Kiara Moona card as well as the Miko and Suisei card. And then we have the 2 climaxes as well, all OFR. So one foil that we did not pull, I opened one case before this. One case has 8 sets, and this was the result of 8 sets. But if you do the math, you have 8 sets, and every set comes with 2 foils, so you get 16 total. But we're missing 1, so unfortunately, we do not have the 1-1 event foil to display here. So that's just going to be, I guess, technically a bit harder to pull since there are like 9 possible ones on the second slot and 8 possible ones on the first slot. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show off all the foils in close-up at the end of this video for you guys to enjoy. But until next time, this has been Mike on the Tressa's Collectibles channel. This is also a double release day. So look forward to a video of Randall taking a look at the Love Live School Idol Festival 10th anniversary set. Love Live School Idol Festival 10th anniversary premium booster set, which is also released today, and we're going to be opening a couple boxes of that, and hopefully Randall can break his unlucky streak and maybe open a sign or 2. Alright, that's going to do it from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely pick up one of these sets if you're a player or a collector. I feel like this is a very good bang for your buck on both the player and collector front. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.